Welcome to WagerTalk TV. I am Kelly Stewart, also known as Kelly in Vegas, and I am joined today by two of my favorite guys from Sports Memo, Drew Martin at Drew Martin Bets, and Teddy Covers, Teddy_Covers. I didn't screw it up that time. I like it. And today we are talking about one of my favorite things, college football, NFL. Season's kicking off here real soon, guys. Do you have any tips, Drew, right off the top of your head for the 2018 football season?
One of the best ways I think to win is to find change. So if you can find change in a coordinator position, a head coaching position, and get ahead of the market, that's one way to win.
Well, let me ask you about this. When you talk about change, Ohio State, all right, just came out. You know, here's Urban Meyer. He gets a 3-game suspension. When you look at a team like Ohio State, here's change at the top. I haven't adjusted my Ohio State power rating, not even a half point for Urban Meyer's absence. Have you adjusted Ohio State? And is that the type of change you're talking about?
No, I haven't. No, it isn't the type of change. I would talk about a new regime coming in. The Urban Meyer situation, not to get political, but a coordinator's just taking over his job. He'll be back week 4. I don't see much need to change, Teddy.
So good. So neither one of us have adjusted our Buckeyes power rating.
Noted. I also have not, but I was like nervous there that maybe I should have. Next, one thing that I think is super important that a lot of people don't talk about is money management, Drew. So tell me what your thoughts are on money management for this football season.
Money management, don't bet too much. Don't get yourself in a hole where you can lose 3, 4 in a row, and then all of a sudden you're having to change things and really go into another pocket to kind of just make sports bets. So don't bet too much. Say 2, 3% of your bankroll in any one single bet.
Sure. Now, when you're talking with guys that have a smaller bankroll, I mean, the 2%, 3%, it makes a lot of sense if you have a fairly big bankroll. You do not want to risk that. It's taking you some time to build that bankroll up. But one of the things that I advise people with smaller bankrolls, say less than $1,000, is, yeah, if you need some action, it doesn't have to be $20. You can bet $50, you can bet $100, because if you blow that bankroll, it's not going to kill you. Do you agree with that or no?
I wouldn't go as high as the $100 on 1,000, just because if you go with 3 or 4 losses in a row, all of a sudden you're barking at the door of half of your bankroll gone in just a 3 or 4 game period. So I wouldn't go to 10%, Teddy, but maybe 5% in a low bankroll scenario.
Sure, and of course when we talk about how you rank plays, they're basically 3 designations. You have a standard play, your action play, and then an upper tier play, and then a best bet. 20 stars or 5% or whatever you call them. Different names, WagerTalk versus Sports Memo. Is that going to change? I don't know yet. But there's so many questions.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is, even with the biggest plays, you're still saying 5% of your bankroll is the max you want to go in any given scenario.
Look, I mean, entertainment betting, I'm not going to tell anybody what they should or shouldn't do. If you want to just bet big, bet big. But, I mean, if you're going to go at it from a serious try-to-win standpoint, I wouldn't recommend going any higher than 5%.
I got to agree with Drew there. I think you're right. If you're a recreational bettor, you have a full-time job, you don't have a lot of obligations, sure. You want to bet 10% of your bankroll because you know you're going to make a nice paycheck again on next Friday, fine, go for it. It's no different than playing poker with your friends on Sunday afternoon. But I agree. There's a definite level where it becomes a serious thing versus a recreational thing. Next, Drew, one thing that I don't do, which I know I need to, I'm such a Big 12 girl. I follow the SEC a ton as well, Big 10, because that's a lot of what my customer base was. You're into the smaller conferences.
Yeah, mostly Sun Belt, Conference USA, even MAC, especially towards the end of the season when you get the weekday games. But yeah, a lot of eyeballs on the SEC, the Big 10, the Pac-12. So if you can concentrate and find a couple key trends in the Sun Belt and Conference USA, I think that they tend to stay under the radar a little bit more, and therefore creating more of an opportunity for a longer period of time.
I would agree with that assessment. Certainly when you're talking about the teams that are morphers in those conferences, a team that's gone from bad to good or from good to bad in any given year, man, those teams tend to hold their value a lot longer than morphers in other conferences.
Absolutely, and yeah, less eyeballs, and that's the main reason why.
Nice. Last but not least, you're just like me. I literally every single Saturday, there I am. I either don't leave my couch or I don't leave the sportsbook because I don't want to miss a game, because I feel like if I'm not watching games, then I'm missing something. I'm missing a situation where I may need that information for the next week. How do you feel about, what is your reasoning for wanting to watch every single game that you possibly can on a Saturday? I know obviously you can only watch so many.
Yeah, I mean, I try to put up 2 to 3 at any one time and just really go from, a 12 noon Eastern until way past midnight Eastern. And the trends I would start to look for is, the propensity for the quarterback to throw the ball deep. And then if he does a lot, maybe look to bet the overs in his game the next week. If not, then maybe tend to bet the unders. Also pace of play, how much change from the offensive coordinator from the week before, using all of that to try to get ahead of the market. And
there's certainly one thing that I'm interested in watching all the time. I want to see how a team plays with a lead, and I want to see how a team plays when they're way behind, because you'll see those situations repeat themselves throughout the course of the season. Teams that are pushing with the lead, they're going to keep pushing with the lead, and the teams that back off, well, they sometimes are rough teams to lay points with.
Exactly.
Good stuff from Drew and Teddy. Listen to the latest Sports Memo podcast by searching Sports Memo on iTunes.